It's like 4 steps ahead and then 5 steps back.
Mm.
They've got her in therapy, and blood pressure goes through the roof. So they told her to go see a doctor now and see what's going on. So
Is she on any blood pressure medicine?
no, she needs to be.
She needs to be. I tell you,
That's what happened. I guarantee.
everyone's different. Linsinopro is like the best thing in the world for me.
Is it?
Oh man, yeah. I was never super high. I was up there about.
But you probably feel better, right?
Man,
energy
that's
level.
I didn't feel bad. That's what's scary. That's blood pressure is a silent killer. You don't feel bad.
I think that's how she felt.
It might have been. It might have got real high blood pressure.
2 weeks prior to that, I was in the 200s, Bill.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, mine was up in the house.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The day I got my heart attack it was only 190.
She was in the 200s.
I said, I can't believe she didn't pass.
My sister
out.
made her go take her blood pressure, and it was like 200 over something.
Well, she's got to get the doctor and get her blood pressure.
She's tough.
200.
Yeah.
Well, she's lucky she didn't stroke out.
I know.
Unbelievable.
I know.
And Lisinopro is the greatest thing in the world. I mean, I'm like 120 over 80 all the time. All the time. And I'm lucky. I had to start out.
Did your dad have high blood pressure?
Dad did too. He had more blockage issues.
Is that what it was?
He had like
Did he have the open heart or no?
No, he had the bifemoral things.
Okay.
He had bifemoral. And he had the balloon surgery where they put the balloon in there.
Yeah.
Pumping it open.
When did he have that done?
Oh, that was the first one. He did that. I want to say right after Bill was born. So
really?
30 years ago.
Okay.
But no, your mom needs to get to the doctor. And get
Oh,
her
I know.
blood pressure.
She's
Under 200. Jeez.
I mean, I don't think she tripped up there.
She might just get passed out. Got lightheaded and fell
just
down.
dizzy and fell.
Man.
Hey, when you fall, you naturally come down and you try to catch yourself, right?
Yeah.
Usually you break a wrist.
Yeah.
You don't fall and
Just
You guys
tumble
all
over.
ready?
and go both.
Yeah. She must. Something happened to her. Man. Yeah, she needs to get that taken care of.
So I think she's going to Violet. So hopefully he got her on some.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, that's good.
You guys all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's all Debbie and Claudia, you guys ready? Sure.
Born ready.
You're right. Call the meeting to order, please. Roll, please.
Mr. Kelly,
Here.
Mr. Porter,
Here.
Mr. Bonner, Ms. Corzine,
Present.
Mr. Dennis.
Present.
This meeting is being live streamed and audio tape recorded. And do we have someone for the Pledge of Allegiance or?
Oh, what that we're it.
Okay. Well, would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sorry about that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda with addendums for today's Board of Education regular meeting as presented? Addendum items are under Superintendent recommendations, item J and K, under Treasurer recommendations, item H.
I'll motion.
Mr. Porter makes that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bonner, any discussion? Roll, please.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Bonner,
Yes.
Ms. Corzine,
Yes.
Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
and Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
And next we have presentation. Do you want to make that introduction, Debbie, please?
Yeah.
Judge Benson and Mr. Dunn would like to come up here. We want to recognize a special young lady who is going to you guys do your thing. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, let me begin, if you don't mind. Indulge us for 5 minutes.
Please.
I want to talk to you briefly about the Ross County Family Dependency Treatment Board, of which your guest is a graduate. The dependency court involves cases where children have been removed from their parents for a variety of things, but usually because of substance abuse. Typically, historically, when a child has been removed, the parents are given a case plan. Here's a written plan for you to utilize to try to get your kids back. And basically, they were given this plan and said, see you in 6 months, good luck. The Family Dependency Treatment Court is a thing we started, I think, in 2017, where we meet with these parents, if they agree to be in the program. We meet with these parents every Friday, and it's a non-adversarial proceeding. The prosecutor's not there, the defense attorney's not there. It's a program where I meet with the participant one-on-one. They're surrounded by their treatment team. And most of these people that you see here today are members of my treatment team. They are children's services caseworkers, they are integrated services workers, they are treatment providers, variety of counselors, all there to support that participant. And basically every Friday we go over with that participant and their team, what are you doing to get your kids back? Do you have a stable home? Do you have your driver's license? Are you getting your education? Do you have a job? And most of these participants, when they start, don't have any of those things. Misty Stone Rock is our graduate today. Misty, I won't say too much, but I will say this about her. Before I was a judge, she was in our court. She was in our court when she was probably 11 or 12 years old. She's a product of the system. As an adult, she had children, and unfortunately, those children were removed from her primarily because of substance abuse. She got into our program, she worked her rear end off, and she got stable housing, she got her license back, she got a job, and she got her education. Almost all of our participants go about that by getting their GED. That's a lot easier than going back and getting your diploma. This young lady went back, got online, did her studies, and she has graduated high school. We're here today for Debbie to present her with her diploma. One of the things participants have to do when they go through the program, actually through the treatment, is to have a session where they tell their story to a group. This is where I came from. This is what I'm trying to get out of. And I decided to go to Misty's program down in the park where she told her story. I couldn't listen. I had to leave. It was so horrendous. So to know where she came from, what she's gone through, to where she is now is a story I don't have words to give you. Misty spent about 18 months in our program, maybe a little longer. She graduated from our court. Since that time, she's had various jobs in the recovery field. Now she's employed by Integrated Services and works at Children's Services. So she's come full circle. We are extremely proud of her, and I think you can tell that by all of the treatment team. Please stand so you can show them who you are. These are the folks that every day, every night are out there helping these folks, and I mean 24/7. I get calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. Somebody was there. Who was there when Misty's baby was born? Yeah. But anyway, we're extremely proud of this team, and we are extremely proud of Misty. I'm going to ask Mr. Dunn, who's now, we stole him from you guys.
Yeah, I know.
Really
I almost
proud to
called you
have
about
him on our
that.
treatment team. So Marty, why don't you say a few words and present the diploma, please?
Just quickly, this was my home for almost 38 years. Judge Benson called me, and one of the first things he told me as far as my job description and what he wanted me to do was be a part of it. Sit in on every Friday. which I had nothing to do with, any clue, but it was the best thing. It's probably one of the best things that I do, seeing people where they start and where they're going. And being here today, just that he wanted me to say two things, all right? Number one, to Misty, it wasn't just getting a GED. There was somebody in Chillicothe City Schools back when she was there that made an impact on her to get her CHS. It was important to her. And I say to, number one, thank you guys for allowing this to take place. And the second thing is, like I used to tell young teachers when they get frustrated, this is not, education is not meat where you, or not meat anymore, but it's not a paper company where you are based upon how much paper you produce, or Kroger's where how much food you sell. Your product cannot be seen until years down the road. This is a young lady that somebody, may not even be around anymore, but somebody in education in this district made that impact for her. Also too, in looking at it, when you look at people that want to do something more and make a difference, see, the society we live in now, it's not important. See, Channel 6 News is not down here to look at something like this where somebody is trying to make a difference, not only in her life, her kids' life, and other people's lives, but it is important, and it is of the utmost important. And as far as her diploma, I think she'd like for just
All right,
normal
Ms. Corzine, you want to
graduation.
come up to it just like we normally do?
Like you normally do.
Wow.
And I'll say while she's making her way up here, Mr. Dunn, he contacted me back in December about this. And just, his
That's awesome.
excitement and pride that Judge Benson had for all that she did to get here is pretty special. It was not easy. This is much, much more difficult than the GED. So come on up, Misty. And all you 12 new teachers sitting out there that we're going to hire tonight, I hope you listen to what Mr. Dunn had to say. You never know. So here you go. You are a Chillicothe High School graduate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Last but not least, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Told this story to some individuals and trying to get something pretty special. Someone came
He's with Innovative Services somehow.
you can call. Just because she started in the pit, you don't have to stay in it. She climbed out of it, and Herb Jones, I told them this story, and they gave her a great flag.
Awesome. That's so great.
Somebody?
Whoever, you want all your kiddos up here? Come on up here. It's a big day.
Serenity.
Come in. Come on.
That is awesome.
Come on up.
Aw.
All righty. Get all the cuties up here. You want to come up here by mommy?
Marty, get up here. Actually, get everybody up here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all the team.
Yep, get everybody up here.
Yes, please.
All right, you
Thank
guys
you,
look
guys,
your
for letting
spots,
us do
okay?
this.
Get your spots.
That is special.
Marty, come in. Rest of the team, please come on up.
Yeah. That's what he's told me too.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, you guys, I got my team back.
Wish we could do this all the
They got all these things. Okay, you guys smell good, okay?
Sorry. All right, everybody, look this way, please. Congratulations.
That is awesome. So proud of you.
Congratulations, Misty.
I really appreciate you
That's
guys.
awesome.
It means so much.
That is great.
Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Continue to do great things.
He's finally feeling better. Sounds better.
Yeah.
He was mowing grass last Wednesday. It was like 110 degrees outside. Yeah. He said, what the hell are you doing out here at 110 degrees? Next week he was out. Sick.
Oh, she's over there.
That is a good story.
These chairs are the worst. They're the absolute worst.
32 units, Bill?
Hmm?
You making money on that, or is integrated service?
No, we can make it. We're 2 units. You know, they put nice income housing down there. You see those houses down there? There's apartments down there. Right behind Soda Valley Baseball Diamond.
Are they nice? Really?
Real nice.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who put those in? Integrated service.
I think Midport House.
Have you seen those ones behind Koppel Field?
Yeah, they're just as nice. They're almost the same.
Are they really?
Yeah, almost the same. Oh no, they're nice.
Damn.
Nice.
But they'll be trashed.
Oh yeah. That's what, after 3 years, yeah. Take a picture now. Take a picture 3 years from now.
3 years is what it took.
Oh yeah.
I got one. It's a Metro. She just destroys the place.
Does that sound right? I asked her who the teacher was, and she said it was these two.
My
Is that
insurance.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Can I mention that? Or would you rather
Is
not?
that Wilburn?
I thought that she said Wilburn.
Office and trash.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Imagine that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Who's Shane?
He's
awesome too.
Is
He's
he?
not great.
Is he?
Probably a little young.
What company is it?
State Farm.
Never.
Hey, Barb, will you send me that picture? I want to send that to Brenda Southworth.
I started with.
Yeah, she was one of the teachers she mentioned that had an impact on her.
Alfred died in a car wreck.
Well, you might know.
Then Susie Natoli took over. I went from the
Also,
bar.
it's back there behind Body Zone. Back in
Yeah.
there. It used to be. Or is it still there?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he took over for Susan.
Pretty good dude.
He's a good dude.
Is he?
Yeah, Shane's a good dude. I like him.
Insurance is a cutthroat business around here. I mean,
All those guys.
it's almost you have to share the pot around here, or they'll hate you.
They break into Jack. Those insurance guys do.
Oh yeah, it just keeps getting. It never goes down. It just keeps getting.
Yeah, it never goes down.
That's why we do what we do.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
They all make money, but they're.
There's tons of them. Oh, yeah, there's tons
You
of
got to start packing lunch.
I at least had breakfast. I did pack my breakfast.
Do you remember the teacher was Walburn?
I'm sorry.
Do you remember the name of Walburn? Teacher?
Yeah.
Walburn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my
I just want to make sure I
Walburn.
had it right.
Yeah, Walburn. Yeah. That's JT's mom.
Oh, was it?
You remember? Yeah. They remember her.
Is she teaching
The
here?
girl came in by my cemetery.
Well, she was. She retired.
Okay.
There must be some guy at work that wears overalls out every day, and they must be going to work with him one day, and they're all wearing overalls.
Oh, my Lord.
No, I think elementary school. I think so. I think that's what she was.
Tab, so that the
Oh.
words are bigger. I mean, I know I'm old, but I can't read that.
There you
Is that
go.
better?
Yeah, and then could you zoom in just a little bit? Do you know how to do that?
Oh, maybe.
That's better.
Can you read it
How about
now?
one more?
One more?
Okay.
I'm
sorry,
No
Lisa.
need to apologize. I want to make sure everybody can see. Does that get all the words on there?
Well, that was very special. And I asked Misty on her way out who the teachers were that impacted her, or the teacher. She said there were two, Ms. Walburn and Mrs. Southworth. So I thought that they should get some of that,
That's great.
gratification from hearing that. But like Mr. Dunn said, we all make an impact sometimes, even when we don't know it.
Yeah.
So keep doing those good things. Thank you. Okay, next is welcome to visitors and public participation. Welcome to visitors to this and all board meetings. The board desires citizens of the district to attend its meetings so that they become better acquainted with the operations and programs of the schools, and so that the board may have an opportunity to hear the wishes and ideas of the public. All meetings of the board are open to the public and the media. Is there anyone here who wishes to address the board? Okay, seeing or hearing no one, we'll move on to legislative update. And Mr. Dennis?
Yes, I guess the biggest impact we've got right now on the table is House Bill 99. So this is where school districts and their boards will be making decisions on who will be allowed to carry arms within the school district. Moving forward, we're still waiting for information from our legal on this, but definitely it's going to be something that it's going to come across our table here sooner than later. So I would just suggest that we freshen up on what House Bill 99 is, how it's going to impact our district, and start listening on how we're going to move forward and how this is going to look within our district. It's definitely something that is putting safety at the forefront for our school district, but then also is going to allow us to decide how that's going to look. And it's not a decision that's going to be made by the 5 people sitting here at this table. That's going to be something that we need to gather information from our community, from our law enforcement officials, and really see how this will impact and how this will look within our district. So no decisions will be made right away, but we will eventually have to come across this here soon. So start looking into it, and we'll start relying on information from our legal counsel, and then also listening to our community on how this is going to look.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, that's all.
Thank you very much. Treasurer reports and recommendations. Leah?
Yes, the approval of the minutes from the May 19th regular scheduled board meeting and the May 27th special board meeting. Financial reports that were attached to the agenda for you to review, along with the final amended certificate of estimated resources, the final appropriations, both for fiscal year 22, and the approval of fund-to-fund advances and/or transfers as needed to close out the final books for June 30th, the temporary appropriations, and the certificate of available resources for fiscal year 23. And also, we added tonight the approval to pay purchase order number 2201252, which is a multi-vendor purchase order. It just happened to run over the amount I'm allowed to then and now. And the approval to run set bow, which is done every year, and without board approval, I can't run that. That sets the balances of appropriations with what funds were actually expended and or receipted in to equal each other instead of me having to do that line by line. And also, we received earlier, actually late last week, the quotes for the commercial property liability and fleet and the commercial cyber liability insurance for the period of next school year, which needs to be approved so it can take effect on July 1st. Are there any questions?
Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the treasurer's recommendations.
So moved.
Mr. Kelly, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Porter, any discussion? Roll, please.
Mrs. Corzine,
Yes.
Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
and Mr. Bonner.
Yes.
Superintendent recommendations.
Okay, I would like to recommend A through K, but there are 12 new teacher recommendations on here, so I'd like to just say their names right now, and then if they're out there, they can stand up just so you can see who they are. And I'm also super happy to report there are 3 bus drivers on here to apply to approve. That's huge. So the 12 new are Alexis Snyder, preschool teacher, Andrea Jenkins, high school teacher, social studies, Morgan Cisco, high school social studies, Charla Brunton, primary kindergarten teacher, Colleen Klein, family and consumer science teacher at the high school. There she is. Jennifer Chafin, 5th grade. There she is. Tyler Gaines, intervention specialist at the high school. Robin Berry, 4th grade teacher. Danielle Boggs, speech therapist. Yay. Hannah Thompson, high school ELA teacher. Scott Bartholomew, CDA teacher. And Dylan Freeman, Chillicothe primary kindergarten teacher. There you are. So these are 12 new teachers.
You can go ahead and announce Bree too.
Pardon me.
You could go ahead and announce Bree too, even though we've got her separate on
Um,
the agenda.
Where is she?
18, I believe.
Oh, yep, Brianna Bethel. Sorry, sixth grade teacher. And here, there you are. Alrighty, so that's a lot of moving parts there. So I'm asking for your approval, A through K.
All right, I'll make the motion to approve A through K 17. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Porter, any discussion? Roll, please.
Mr. Bonner,
Yes.
Mrs. Corzine,
Yes.
Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
and Mr. Porter.
Yes.
And then 18.
Then 18 is Brianna Bethel pulled out separately.
And is there a motion to approve Brianna Bethel?
I'll motion.
Mr. Porter, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Kelly? Any discussion? Roll, please.
Mr. Bonner,
Yes.
Mrs. Corzine,
Abstain.
Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
and Mr. Porter.
Yes.
Welcome to all of you. Thank you very much. We don't have any discussion or information.
I just kind of wanted to go back to what Mr. Kelly was talking about. We're going to put together a committee of teachers and some community members and our resource officers and go through kind of what the House bill says, because there's a lot of information in there. We don't currently have a board policy on that. And that's what the legal counsel is currently working on, is drafting some board policy options for school districts, depending on which way you go. So get some input from them. I'm going to send out a letter to the parents and just let them know that we will be forming a committee to discuss this. At present, we do not have a board policy that allows our staff to carry firearms, so that, that's not happening. And that it's a big decision to make, and we need to be pretty thorough in our conversations and advice from legal counsel on what we're going to do. So in August, I'll get a group of people together, and probably 2 people from from the board need to be on that. So let me know if you're interested, and then we'll just start through the conversation and kind of see where we're at. But right now, I don't have anything from legal on any policy options.
All right, thank you. Any board member comments?
I wanted to make a comment, but everyone walked out the door. But I've got the opportunity to work with Misty through my health department work, and it's really awesome to see the programs in our community that are giving people a second chance. And she's just an example of how those programs are successful.
Yeah.
But then also the whole team of people that you see that helped get her to where she is. That's very impressive. A lot of the folks that were here from Integrated Services and Community Action and Judge Benson's court, it's a whole community it's taking to support this and turn people's lives around. So it's just really, really good to see that we have a success story, but there's many more. A lot of the people that were here were also success stories. And it's great to see that our community has made the turn to where we're starting to get people off of the substance use disorder and back into their lives. And it's just great to see that.
And I think that's why it's so important. We have integrated services in our district, and I don't know what we do without all of those men and women that work with our kids. She may show up in our school someday working with some of our kids. Counseling Source, our social workers. Those positions, although they're non-teaching, are very, very, very important to helping kids get through high school and graduate graduate on time.
I just wanted to mention too that I saw that Faye Coe had passed away, and she was a teacher in this district many, many years ago. And well loved. I still hear stories about her, so please keep the family in your thoughts and prayers, please. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Took a little bit of time.
I'll second.
Is that Mr. Dennis?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for being here tonight.
Who seconded it?
I think it was Mr. Dennis. Oh, did he?
Yep.
Okay. My ears were deceiving me. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.